So welcome everybody. Welcome to today's session. My name is Bruce Dinger. We have Johnny Dye with Trustify Technologies. And one of the reasons that I thought we would do this call is because a lot of the clients that I'm dealing with right now either come from the university side, where they're having issues during registration, where a lot of students are going through the enrollment process, Johnny, and the site ends up freezing up or going down. And then I have a number of also clients that I'm working with that are on the retail side. And as we go through this economy, and we're going from the brick and mortar stores where people are going into stores and buying things, and now it's moving more to online shopping. A lot of my clients really want to go ahead and give the best experience possible without any hiccups. So they're going through this process, what they call this digital transformation. So I thought it might be a good time to kind of go through some of the common questions that get asked. And I think you're the best person to do that, Johnny, with the level of expertise and the team that you're leading on at Trustify on the engineering side. So let me ask you this, Johnny. Let's just start with basics. What's the importance of performance testing? And really, how do you prioritize? Because I see a lot of companies just kind of put it to the sideline. How do you prioritize performance testing in that software development lifecycle?
So in my opinion, the performance testing should be in the top priority of software development. So it's going to be two-phase right now. It's going to be before the release and after the delivery. So before the release, you need the performance testing for each release. Make sure that your product is working fine and nothing happened. And after the delivery for your customer, then you need the APM tool, which kind of be monitor your application lifetime and provide some performance feedback to your engineering team. And you can fix the performance issue, debug, and then troubleshoot something from your software.
Very, very nice. And Johnny, a lot of times, like I hear people, and I even get the terminology mixed up from time to time when they talk about performance testing. I hear the terminology load testing, stress testing, scalability testing. Can you give us a little bit of insight from an engineering perspective? What are the differences?
So they're very different, and because they have three type tests and they have three type of goal and objective. So for the load test is simulate the large number of user transaction to application server. So the goal of load test is to ensure that your application can handle expected the user traffic without disregarding your performance system. For the stress test, you're going to simulate the large user connection into your server to identify the performance botnet, what is the limitation of your application. The scalability testing is a process to evaluate your software application, the ability to scale up and handle the number of user and transaction when it increase.
Gotcha. I would imagine, that would be really important for customers that want to really make this digital transformation and go more towards having more of their business online. Would that be correct, Johnny?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
Yeah. So when you're doing the testing, how do you identify bottlenecks in the software application?
So performance botnet in software application can be identified by multiple factors. So the first one, it could come from your resource utilization, such as CPU, memory, display. You can be out of display. You can be high CPU for a long time, high memory for a long time. It could crash your instance, your Kubernetes, and your container. The second thing come from your HTTP response. So HTTP response front end, HTTP response back end, HTTP response error, duration, and application error rate. So that's come from your application. And from the service, it could come from the packet loss and Kubernetes status performance and the container status. And there's still many metrics to identify performance bottlenecks. It depends on what is that expectation is.
Gotcha. It sounds like a lot goes into this, the performance testing and making sure a system, is working at full capacity. What happens when a client calls up, Johnny, and says, "Hey, Trustify, I want to have you guys, we're scaling up or we're having issues, whatever the case may be, and we want to make testing a priority. What does that look like in terms of being able to set up performance testing environments and configuring all the data? How does that, what are some of the steps that go into that?
So the basic step is we're gonna take their biggest production environment as a testing environment. So we set up our test environment based on that production of, like, we set up the infrastructure, resource utilization, and user license based on that. And the next step is we need to understand the expectation of the customer to collect the daily performance data, such as user connection, user behavior, transaction activity, to create the configuration data. And they're going to be answer the question like how many user you need to be test, how many transactions need to be simulate, and what is expectation from the scalability from you. Yeah.
Gotcha. And on that same note, when you gather in this information, how are you analyzing and interpreting the test results to go ahead and make these performance improvements?
So in my experience, so we first of all we need to have the thresholds on each performance metric, and from the threshold, and then we got the report, and we got the data from APM, we got the data from performance monitoring testing. Then we will classify the issue from these data. So the issue can come from resource utilization, and the issue can come from the functional issue. Then with the resource utilization issue, then we provide them the solution like, hey, you increase your resource utilization, like increase memory, CPU, display. Or if it's come from functional issue, then we will provide the solution to improve the code base of application.
Gotcha. And then to make sure that these issues don't occur in the future, because that would be on my mind if I was, the customer. Hey, it's great you identified the problem, but how do I know it's not going to happen again? What are some of those steps that go into that?
So that's gonna be very good question. To make sure that it's not gonna come back again, then you should have the solution. Like, we build a solution for one of the biggest oil and gas company, which is called a abnormality detection. Then we gather a lot of critical metric from the application, and then from these critical metric, we priority the list of the environment which need to be fixed first, and then we gonna classify the issue from these environment, and we build an automation solution to fix that issue automatically. So they're gonna be fixed before something happened. That's our solution. Yeah.
Really, really good. I know you had a lot of experience in this field and have worked with a lot of large companies, large enterprise companies as well. Johnny, in kind of wrapping this up and in closing, if you were a company that was looking to kind of scale the business online, go through what a lot of them refer to as this digital transformation,
Yes.
What would be some of your advice to them as it relates to testing?
So if they're looking into the scale up ability of their application, and they need a solution, so my advice is going to be user automation. We call the self-healing solution. Say like you will have 100 user connect today, but it's going to be 1,000 user connect tomorrow, and you don't know like how can you know how many users are going to be connect into your application in the future? Then the self-healing is it's going to do automation job. It is going to find out before your application hit the performance bottleneck. It automatically increase your database, increase your sequence connection limit, increase your CPU memory, the RAM display before something happens. So you don't worry about the scale up ability of your application. Everything is going to be automated.
Gotcha. Automation sounds like the way to go then. Yeah. Well, folks, there you have it. I just wanted to go ahead. Johnny and I want to get on and answer a few questions that seem to be coming up from various customers that we're working with. Trustify, just in case I didn't say it in the beginning, we're a U.S.-based organization. We have operations also in Vietnam, and have done a great job in capturing some of the most talented engineers on the planet. And if you take a look at, take a look at Vietnam, because people will ask, well, Bruce, why'd you guys set up in operations, the bulk of your engineers in Vietnam? Quite frankly, Vietnam has had a reputation for putting out some of the most talented engineers on the planet, and they're part of Trustify. So if you are looking for, outsourcing, you're looking to expand your business, we don't look at our customers as clients only. We look at them as partners. And we're an extension of your team, a partner of your team from the engineering perspective. So if you're interested in finding out more, learn about more, and we can learn about more about your business as well and how we can help, feel free to go ahead and connect with us. My number that you want to reach out to is area code 408-639-9793. And there'll be a link below this video where you can connect with us on email, and we can set up a time where we can go ahead and have a brief introductory conversation to find out how we can work together. Thanks so much for watching this, and take care.